Oops. Welcome to the Perfect Your Purpose podcast, where my main goal is to connect with inspiring individuals across the country and allow them to share their journeys with you, how they got there, where they started, and what they're doing now to perfect their unique purpose, gifts, and talents in their life. I'm your host, Danica Tramburg, and today I am joined by Sydney, where we first met each other when we were competing at Miss Wisconsin USA, and she absolutely crushed it and made it into the top 5, but so much has happened since then. Sydney, can you give them a better overall just view of kind of where you're at right now, and then we can dive into how you got there?
Yeah, thanks, Danica. I am so excited to be doing this, and just we haven't talked. It's been so long. I was thinking, honestly, it's been like 3 years now since this, and it's just like time has flown by. But since Miss Wisconsin, yeah, my life kind of has just completely changed. And I remember my question for Miss Wisconsin was actually like, what is the hardest or what was the most difficult thing you've been through in your life? And it was so hard for me to answer that question because at the time I was kind of just like getting out of high school. And to me, I was like, well, I haven't really had that much difficulties in my life. And it's like after I said that on stage, it was like my life got like thrown into this whirlwind. And so like definitely in the past few years, it's changed. I was actually planning to go out to California, and so Miss Wisconsin was in September, and I was planning to go out there in January. And I know we're going to talk about how I started at getting or how I got into Miss Wisconsin, but my mom actually decided to submit me, did not tell me. So I found out 2 weeks before that I like got accepted. I've never done a pageant, never done any kind of, pageant or anything in my life.
Yeah.
It was all sports mostly, growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So she had submitted me 2 weeks before, and I was like, well, I'm still planning to go out to California, so I don't know if I should do this.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was kind of like, all right, if it's meant to be, then I will stay for the year and like give it everything I have. So I was like, okay, either I'm going out to California in January, or if I win, then I'm staying here for a year. So yeah, since then I did go out to California in January. I was there for about like 7 months modeling. And I decided to come back to Chicago I was still kind of modeling. But then from there, I decided it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. And personal training and just training and fitness has always been something that's been really big to me. And so I decided to get back into that. I got certified as a personal trainer. And that's what I've been doing for the past year. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So I feel like I have so many questions for you. I guess I just want to start with like, I know you said your mom was like, you're going to do Miss Wisconsin. Like, I'm just going to sign you up. Like, I'm so glad you were there and I got to meet you. What do you feel like you learned from that experience, or what did you expect when you were going in, and did that perception change after you competed?
Yeah, so I guess everyone kind of has this view of, how pageants are. It's very, you know, just a view that I guess that people have on it. But um I was just I would say I'm more of like a tomboy. My mom had all brothers, so I grew up with sports. I didn't know what a pageant was. Um so going into it, I was like very nervous. I had 2 weeks to prepare to like research, learn everything on it. And I going into things, I do like to do a lot of research. So I was like sitting here really looking up like, what is this all about? What do I need to do? And then I like gave it everything I had to with like in the gym. And I remember in those 2 weeks, not that I needed to, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna like lose 10 pounds. Like I want to feel my best up there, everything. So when I like commit to something, I really do like to just, give it everything I have. So I really was like, okay, I'm going to do this. But yeah, I don't really think like getting there and just like you meet so many people, all the girls there, and it was like such a good experience. And afterwards I was just like, I'm really glad I did this and put everything into it. It was just like a really good experience,
Yeah.
to have. It was something completely out of my comfort zone. And I think it's the one thing that helps you grow is, getting out of your comfort zone.
For
So that
sure.
really, yeah, I really did.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we had similar backgrounds and we kind of like bonded over that. Like I came from a completely sports background. I had competed a couple years before you, but my mom also was like, "Why don't you try this?" And I was like, "Really?" Like, and I mean, I can't even like compare. You did so much better than I did my first year competing. I like want to hide those photos. They're so embarrassing. But I think too, like it just really brings you out of your comfort zone. I was never one to, I don't know, just kind of like freely like talk to people and be like super open. I didn't have a very loud voice. I guess I'm just kind of shy, which is like
Yeah.
really, I don't know, it's super opposite of like what pageantry is, but again, it was like an opportunity to hone a skill that you're not good at it. And it's uncomfortable and it puts you in weird situations and you learn a lot about yourself. So, I mean, I think that, no matter what you're going into a pageant for, to win or to just be better, like you're going to get something from it, which is really
Mhm.
cool, I think. But,
Yeah.
I'm good for you that maybe didn't win that year because then you got to continue on for your journey that you really wanted to do,
Yes.
and that was going out to pursue modeling. So tell me about your like move to the coast and that 7 months.
Yeah. So I think, at the time I thought that the only thing I really wanted to do was model. And I had signed, so I had been modeling in Chicago with Wilhelmina, and that's where I originally got signed. And then I talked to my agent about moving out to California because that's where I again, thought that I wanted to be and thought that that's how my life was going to be. um,
Mhm.
so I, you know, I basically packed up my car and drove out there, and I my parents moved me to Green Bay right before my senior year of high school, actually, from Arizona. So I was originally from Arizona and grew up there my whole life. My parents moved me right before senior year. So that was very rough.
Yeah,
Just to
and like
leave
beautiful
everything.
weather to the frozen tundra. So like,
Yeah, it was horrible. So that was really hard. And then I did 2 years of college. So at this point, I was just like, I want to get out of here. I just didn't feel like anything that I was doing was just like gonna benefit me there anymore.
mhm,
So um, I was driving. I was still in Green Bay at the time, going to school. So I would drive like 4 hours up to Chicago for work and then 4 hours back. It was just like a lot. So I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out to California. I packed up my car, drove out there by myself, didn't know anybody. And it was extremely rough. um, I had the whole roommate situation, the horrible roommate situation
oh
that everyone had.
no.
So I went through that, and it was it was a journey. I actually got to a point where I was basically I was living out of my car for a few days because I had um, kind of fallen down. Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
and kind of yeah. So I had kind of just fallen down like the the trap, I guess you kind of hear with modeling, and I kind of lost connection with my family and my friends, and it was very hard. um, and so there was at one point I was actually living out of my car, and I think these are the things that just like once you hit that rock bottom,
Yeah.
yeah, you look back on that time, and it's like what has made me you know, where I'm at today. I think people that are very successful have always, you know, they've hit that like rock bottom point in their life. And it's either you get to that very like rock bottom point and you realize like I need to change and I need to make like I'm going to make a decision to change my life, or you just stay the same. And so at that point, being in California, I'd gotten like really low. I started, you know, using things for, you know, like coping, and I was not in a healthy place at all. So at that point I decided I just needed to get out of it. I flew back home and tried to like repair my relationship with my family, which was extremely hard. And I still continued to model a little bit in Chicago. And then after a few months, I kind of was like, this is not what I want to be doing anymore. I felt like I wasn't, you know, living like my purpose. And I wanted to help people. And I think the biggest thing was once I really fell when I was there, once I realized that, I was like, all I want to do is be able to help people. And that's the one thing that has always just made me happy. And I realized what I was doing and modeling out there, I wasn't happy and I wasn't helping people. So that's kind of, you know, what happened when I went out there. I was there for 6 months and came back. I was modeled for probably 3 more months. And then I realized like, I don't want to do this anymore.
It's so interesting, I think, too, what people see and perceive from like an outsider's perspective. I mean, I think modeling like looks so glamorous and so fun. And I mean, I've been in that situation too, where it's like not to that extent, but you know, I modeled for years and then I don't know, I just felt like a piece of me or like a number. And it was like, took my soul away from me, kind of like, it felt so hollow and empty and like cold.
Yeah, you feel, I feel like not many people can relate to this. And sometimes when I tell people, I feel like they kind of look at me like, what are you talking about? But I felt like when I was out there that like everyone that I was just talking to, like their soul was gone. And people are like, what? And it's just like, because you get trapped up in this industry. And I mean, I feel like people do, they just kind of like lose themselves. And it's kind of hard to go back when you're like getting to live like this life and go on these trips, like, you know. So it's hard. You feel like you can't really talk to anybody there, and that was the hardest thing for me. And I remember being on a job actually one time. It was a 3-day job, and it was me and one other girl, and for the entire 3 days she said but like 2 words to me. And it's just like, we're supposed to be supporting each other and you know, helping each other. And it was like miserable because I was like, I would try to make conversation, try to talk to her, you know, like she was from a different country, and just, it was like she had been living in LA for a while, and it was so hard. I just like, I want to talk and open up, and we're doing the same thing, and you know, helping each other in any way. And so that's kind of where I was like, yeah, this is really hard for me. So
it's a tough industry. I mean, you know, what a wonderful and neat experience. And I don't think, like, I never think about like regrets in life. I just think like any experience, whether it was good or bad, it was just like a learning opportunity and, you know, something you can grow from. So I'm sure, you know, you felt like you grew from that in some way, even though it was hard. You felt like you hit a low. Now look at where you are, and I feel like you're so much closer to like living out like what you truly love and desire, and like that purpose that you're talking about, helping others. I know are you in Ohio now?
So yes, now I'm in Ohio. I'm all over the place. But
and you started helping others by training, and I see your fitness programs all the time. So if anyone's listening, check out your fitness programs. We'll talk about where to find you later, but tell me, I guess, how that kind of got started and what drove you to, um, where did that passion come from of like working out, like living healthy, that like nutrition aspect of it? Because I see it all and it's super interesting to me. And it's super motivating. So tell me about that.
Well, thank you. So once I had left California and I was back in Chicago, um, it was kind of when I was like, well, I'm just not happy. Like I want to be able to do what I can to help people. And um, I had my first job actually when I was 15 was in a gym. And I grew up playing sports and fitness was my life, basically until I started modeling when I was in college. Um, and so I was like, I want to get back into this. I want to be able to help people. But the biggest thing was coming from modeling, and being told at times that I needed to, lose 10 or 15 pounds in like, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks. Um, and then sometimes gaining it back. And it was so unhealthy. Mentally, it was like draining. I started like binge eating and having like a horrible relationship with food. So I just like I know girls that were using other things to get to that, to lose those 15 pounds, and
Mhm.
the way they do that. And um I just wanted to kind of, I know you can't change the industry and what their standards are. And I think it is definitely changing. But I don't think sometimes like it's not healthy. And for me, I've never been super small. So trying to get my body to fit into a size 2, like that was
Yeah.
never gonna happen.
Yeah.
um
I feel
and
you.
so it was really hard. And that was the biggest thing that kind of drove me. Like, I want to get back into this. I want to be able to help people, and in a healthy way, teach them, how to eat and fuel their body properly. And if it is losing 10 pounds, doing it in a right way and doing it in a maintainable way instead of what I was doing at the time and just destroying my body,
Yeah.
trying to lose 10, 50 pounds in a few weeks. So I got certified through the American Council, and I have been training in person mostly for the past year. And then I just recently moved to Ohio um, with my boyfriend, and I'm pretty much all doing online training now. So I just like, I love what I do. I love being able to help people. And I'm so much just happier now that I can like change people's lives. Like having somebody come to me and be like, wow, you like motivated me. I have such a better like positive outlook on life. And the biggest thing I think too is like for me, it's not just physical, health, it's mental too.
Yeah.
And I want to, yeah, just like having people come to me and be like, wow, you like motivating me to do this, or you helped
Mm.
me change my life in this way. Like it just, like, I don't think there's a better feeling than that.
Yeah, I totally
So
agree.
I just like love being able to do this now and not be like controlled by somebody. And like you said, like you do kind of feel like you're like a piece of meat and
Yeah.
you're just like a mannequin, like for
Yes.
them to, yeah. So I'm so much happier here doing, something that I genuinely love. So
It's crazy
yeah.
sometimes what you think, you think you know what you want to do, and then how life just totally takes you a different direction. But in so many ways, like those experiences that you were first striving towards brought you to where you are today, and you learned so much from it. And it, even the modeling industry or pageants like helped you understand why it's so important to like live a healthy lifestyle and teach others that they can do so as well, I think. Do you feel like you're, kind of starting to perfect your purpose and live out kind of your passion?
Yeah, I definitely think that this is like what I'm meant to do, if you would say.
Yeah.
And I think like too, will I be like a trainer forever? I don't think so. I've always been interested in like real estate too, and so that's kind of like my next goal. But where I'm at right now in life, this is definitely like what I will be doing for a while, and maybe forever. Who knows? Like, I would love to eventually like have like basically hire trainers under me to as like a team to coach clients and do that as well. So definitely right now I would say yes. For the most part it is. I have been and I'm just very happy being here. It's just like look back and like you said, it isn't like I don't have regrets going out to California. But it it actually it makes me more like thankful to be here now where I am, and it did help me grow. It did help me to find my purpose and to be able to do this. So I am thankful for the hard times that I did have to go through, to get where I am here, because I think, every morning too, I'm big on like morning routine and that, and writing, just like focusing on gratitude and writing things you're thankful for each day. And I find myself a lot just kind of being thankful for what I went through in that time to be where I'm at today. So
yeah. I love that. What would you say to someone who is still trying to discover their purpose or like where they're meant to be in life?
Yeah, that's a very big question.
Your one piece of advice.
I would say, honestly, I think one thing is people think like I need to absolutely like love my job every single day, and just like that's the thing. I think people think like, oh, I need to absolutely love this with like my whole heart, and I think you do, but I think like you have to realize too, and this was like hard for me, was understanding like it's still going to be difficult and you're still going to have hard times in something you love. Like there's days with training that I like I mean I don't really have like a 9 to 5. I'm working all the time. Like there may be times I have a call at 7 o'clock in the morning and then I have a call at 8 o'clock at night. So it just like depends. Like I constantly have people reaching out to me at all times of the day, sometimes at 11 o'clock at night. So it's like there is times where is it hard? Is it frustrating? Yes. But do I love it? Like the outcome of all of it? Yes. And so I think for people finding something that you are just like passionate about, maybe it's like the end result of like, why do you love it? And I think we're all kind of, trying to do this, perfect our purpose in many ways in life, just who we are. And yeah, like, I think the main thing people think is like your purpose is your job, but I think it can be a lot of things. I think it can be like working on yourself and, just trying to be your best self, your best you. That's what I always try to, put out there and put out to my clients. Like, do your best to be, your best self. It's just you versus you. It's not you versus anybody else. So yeah.
I feel like that's so important for people to realize that, like, I can never be Sydney and Sydney can never be Danica. You know what I mean? But we all have like our own unique gifts. And there's so much room in this world for seriously everyone to succeed in whatever it is they want to do. And everyone's purpose and reason and everyone's why is different. And that's kind of what makes it beautiful and what makes it so interesting and unique to each other. And comparison is just such a, and it's terrible because I feel like it holds people back. It makes people not believe in themselves, and when really we're all here to do something special, I think.
Yeah, I think honestly, I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the guys was talking about how the comparison is the biggest, like it's the one thing that will take your happiness away. And the one thing that will lead you to not, going after what you want. Because in anything, you're comparing yourself to somebody else, whether it be, you're doing a podcast, or for me, training, just anything. So I think the biggest thing is to realize, like, no one is going to be the same.
Mhm.
Don't try and be somebody else, because it's never just be you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not gonna, don't look at somebody and compare yourself and say, I'm not there, or, I should be there, because they're them and you're you. I mean, there's like not much more to it, but yeah, you just can't compare yourself. And sometimes it is hard, but I feel like the more you hold yourself back, you're never gonna get there. I always say,
Exactly.
like, is it gonna be day one for you?
Yeah.
Or is it just gonna be another, like, oh well, I'll start again tomorrow?
No, yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
procrastinator sometimes, so I know that saying.
Yeah.
But it's so true, like, and that's
Yeah.
just what I want to get across in these podcasts as well, is that, I haven't spoken to anyone that has your journey, and the next person I speak to is going to have a completely different journey. So yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much for hopping on. And before we leave, can you just share like a brief little bit about your programs, and then how people can find you?
Yeah. So my link is in my Instagram bio. Basically an application for you to fill out for training if you are interested. From there, I basically just jump on a call with you, go over your goals, your lifestyle, everything, to create a program that's based off of your needs and goals and lifestyle. My Instagram is Sydney Madison Fit, and that link is just in my bio. Besides that, I mean, Instagram is my main social media platform. So I do have others, but we'll just keep keep it to that for right now.
Are you hiding
So,
a MySpace account, Sydney? I'm just kidding.
oh yeah. No, but I have gone on TikTok, like, off and on, and I'll download the app and then I'll delete it, and I'll download it and delete it. So I'm just kind of, yeah.
That's
But
awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Definitely go check out everything that Sydney's up to and what she's going to continue to do in the future. And tune in next time.
thank you so much for having me, Danica. I'll
You're
talk to you
welcome.
soon.
Bye.